Captain Taeyong Park stood tall on the bridge of the EDS Vigilance. The ship was Earth's best diplomatic vessel. Through the main window, he watched a huge alien ship come closer to Earth's defense network. His face showed both strength and sadness. "Captain, they are not answering our calls," said Minji Lee. She worked at the communications desk. Her voice showed she was frustrated. Taeyong took a deep breath. "Send the warning again. Use all radio bands and all languages we know." He looked at the giant alien ship on the screen. "Tell them clearly that Earth is under quarantine because of the Nexus pathogen. If they try to land, we will have to stop them." For the past 60 years, humans had been living with the Nexus pathogen. This tiny organism connected with human DNA. It gave humans amazing healing powers. But when non-humans caught it, they became violently crazy. After an accident at Proxima Centauri where many aliens died, Earth put itself under quarantine to protect others. The aliens outside were called the Carven. Their home planet was dying. They needed a new place to live. Earth looked perfect to them. Their leaders thought the quarantine was just a trick. They believed humans were trying to keep Earth's resources for themselves. "Captain, they got our message," Minji said, looking up from her screen. "But they are telling us to surrender. They want access to land on Earth." Taeyong's face became hard. "Send our final warning. Show them all the data from the Proxima incident. Make sure they understand what happens when the pathogen meets alien bodies." But the Carven leaders didn't believe the warnings. They thought humans were lying. "Captain, they're sending down landing ships," reported Junho Kim from the tactical station. "They're aiming for major cities." Taeyong closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, his decision was made. "Start Protocol Omega, alert the fleet." All across the solar system, hidden shipyards received the signal. For decades, Earth had been secretly building warships. It was time to use them. In orbit around Earth, the Carven High Commander Vex watched as the landing ships headed down to the planet below. "The humans are weak," Vex said to his second-in-command. "Look how few ships they have. Their quarantine story is clearly a lie." "But what if it's true, High Commander?" asked his officer. "What if there really is a dangerous pathogen?" Vex made a clicking sound that showed his species' version of laughter. "Our scientists have studied their broadcasts. If there was a real disease, there would be signs. Their planet looks healthy and rich. They simply want to keep it for themselves." On his command screen, he could see the landing ships entering Earth's atmosphere. Some were heading to a place called Seoul. Others targeted New York, London, and Beijing. "Soon we will have new homes," Vex said. "Our people will no longer need to live on crowded colony ships." His communications officer turned from her station. "High Commander, we're receiving a message from a new human ship. It just appeared on our sensors." "Show me," Vex ordered. A human appeared on the screen. He wore a uniform with more decoration than the others they had seen. "This is Admiral Sun Wukang of the Earth Defense Fleet," the human said. "Your ships are violating a medical quarantine. Call back your landing craft immediately. This is your absolute final warning." Vex clicked his mouth parts in amusement. "Tell this admiral that the Carven people claim Earth under the galactic settlement rights. Their quarantine excuse is rejected." Admiral Sun Wukang received the Carven's message on the bridge of the EDS Retribution. The massive warship had been hidden in a secret base on the far side of the moon. Now it moved into position, along with hundreds of other ships emerging from hiding places all over the solar system. "They still think we're bluffing," Sun Wu said to his executive officer, Commander Da-hee Yoon. "Many species make that mistake with humans," Da-hee replied. "They think we're soft because we prefer peace." Sun Wu nodded. "Prepare the fleet for containment operations. Once the pathogen spreads among the landing parties, the Carven ships will try to run. And we'll be waiting," Da-hee said. In Seoul, Commander Hyun Cha directed her soldiers to surround the Carven landing site. People ran away from the area as the alien ship settled in a city park. "Get all civilians out," Hyun ordered through her comm unit. "Set up a 5-kilometer safety zone. No one goes in or out." She put on her protective suit. The Nexus pathogen lived in all humans now. It didn't make them sick, but any contact between human blood and the aliens would spread the pathogen. The door of the carven ship opened. Tall beings with hard outer shells like insects walked out. They had multiple arms and legs. Their heads were covered with sensors and breathing equipment. One stepped forward, a translator device on its chest. This land now belongs to the Carven Collective. Surrender peacefully, and you may stay as our workers. Hyun stepped toward them but kept a safe distance. You need to return to your ship immediately. This is not about territory. You are in danger of exposure to the Nexus pathogen. The Carven leader made the clicking sound that humans now recognized as laughter. Your biological weapon stories do not scare us. Our immune systems are stronger than yours. This is not a weapon, Hyun said firmly. It's a real danger, please, there's still time to... A commotion broke out at the perimeter line. A young man pushed through the soldiers and ran toward the aliens. He was bleeding from a cut on his arm. Get back, Hyun shouted, but it was too late. One of the Carven grabbed the man with its pincer-like hand. The alien's sharp claw pierced the man's skin. For a few seconds, nothing happened. The Carven started to drag the human toward their ship. Then the alien began to shake. Its outer shell cracked as it thrashed around. It dropped the human and turned on its own people. With amazing strength, it attacked the nearest Carven. Contain them, Hyun ordered. Full isolation procedures. But the infection spread quickly. The first infected Carven had cut several others with its claws. Those aliens began to change too. Their normal brown color turned dark purple. Their movements became jerky and violent. Hyun backed away, ordering her troops to secure the perimeter. No one approaches them. Prepare containment foam. Her communication unit crackled. Commander Cha, this is Captain Park on the Vigilance. We're getting reports of similar incidents at all landing sites. The pathogen is spreading among the Carven. Hyun watched as the aliens fought each other, their bodies changing before her eyes. Captain, they didn't believe us. Now they're learning, the hard way. In orbit, High Commander Vex received horrifying reports from all landing parties. His people were dying or changing into something terrible. Prepare for immediate departure, he ordered. Recall any shuttles that haven't landed yet. We must return to the fleet. His ship turned away from Earth, ready to jump to safety. But, as they moved outward, new signals appeared on their sensors. High Commander, his tactical officer said with fear in her voice. We're detecting hundreds of human warships. They're everywhere. Vex rushed to the main viewing window. The sight made his blood run cold. Hundreds of massive warships surrounded Earth in a perfect formation. They blocked every possible escape route. A message came through on all channels. The human admiral appeared again on the screen. This is Admiral Sunwoo Kang. You were warned. You chose not to listen. Now you understand why Earth is under quarantine. No ship leaves until we confirm it is not carrying the pathogen. Any attempt to break through our blockade will result in immediate destruction. Vex sank into his command chair. The humans had not been lying about the pathogen, and they had not been unprepared for this day. They had been waiting for it. Commander Hyun Cha stood behind the safety line in Seoul. Her soldiers formed a wide circle around the Carven landing site. They all wore special protective suits that covered their entire bodies. How many infected aliens? She asked her second-in-command. 23. So far, Officer Jiwoo said. The pathogen is spreading fast among them. Through her helmet visor, Hyun watched the changed Carven. Their normally brown shells had turned dark purple. They moved in strange, jerky ways. Some fought each other. Others tried to break through the human defense line. Hold the perimeter, she ordered. No one gets in or out. Her communication device beeped. Commander Cha, this is Medical Team 5. We need to study one of the infected aliens. It will help us understand how the pathogen affects their bodies. Hyun frowned. Too dangerous. We can observe from a distance. But Commander, no, she said firmly. I've seen what happens when the pathogen jumps to a new species. We stay back and contain them. In orbit, High Commander Vex of the Carven stared at the human fleet surrounding his ships. There were hundreds of warships, all bigger and more powerful than he had expected. How did they hide such a fleet? He asked, no one in particular. His tactical officer checked the sensors again. They must have kept them powered down and hidden, bases across their solar system. Our scans before the invasion only picked up a few diplomatic vessels. Vex slammed his claw down on the arm of his command chair. We were tricked. No, High Commander, his science officer said quietly. We were warned. We chose not to believe the warnings. On the main screen, reports came in from the landing sites. Over 200 Carven soldiers were now infected with the pathogen. Those who weren't infected had barricaded themselves inside their ships, trying to stay safe. Can we use our weapons to break through their blockade? Vex asked. The tactical officer shook her head. Their fleet outnumbers us 5-1, and their ships appear to have energy shields we've never seen before. A message alert sounded. It's the human admiral again, said the communications officer. Vex nodded. Put him on screen. Admiral Sun Wu Kang's face appeared. His expression was calm, but serious. High Commander Vex, we are prepared to help your people. We have experience with the Nexus pathogen, but you must cooperate fully with our containment protocols. Vex's pride wanted him to refuse, but the reports from the surface left no choice. What are your terms, Admiral? On the EDS retribution, Admiral Sun Wu Kang ended the call with the Carven leader. They've agreed to our terms, he told Commander Da Hee-yoon. They'll remain in place while we handle the situation on the ground. Da Hee looked doubtful. Can we trust them? Sun Wu gestured to the tactical display showing Earth's fleet surrounding the Carven ships. They have nowhere to go, and now they know the pathogen is real. He turned to his communications officer. Connect me with all research teams on Earth. I want hourly updates on the Carven infection patterns. In her containment suit, Director Yuna Cho carefully approached the sealed laboratory area in Seoul. Inside, behind thick glass, were 3 infected Carven. They had been captured using special nets and sedation guns. Have you noticed the changes in their exoskeletons? Dr. Jin Woo Baek asked as he joined her at the observation window. Yuna nodded. The hard shells are becoming softer in some places, and the color change is dramatic. The Carven inside the lab moved differently than normal members of their species. They were less coordinated but seemed stronger. One slammed repeatedly against the reinforced glass but couldn't break through. Brain, scans show massive changes in their neural pathways, Jinwoo said, showing Yuna a tablet with the results. The pathogen isn't just making them violent, it's rewiring their brains. Similar to what happened with humans, Yuna mused. But faster and more painful. When the Nexus pathogen had first appeared on Earth 60 years ago, humans had also gone through changes. But over several generations, humans had adapted to live with the pathogen. It became part of them, giving them better healing and longer lives. The difference is that humans had time to adapt gradually, Jinwoo said. The Carven are being forced to change all at once. Yuna's communication device beeped. Director Cho, this is Captain Park from the Vigilance. We're getting strange readings from the Carven ship still on the surface. What kind of readings? She asked. Energy buildup, Captain Taeyong replied. They might be preparing to take off against orders. Yuna frowned. Keep monitoring them. I'll alert Defense Command. Commander Hyun Cha received the warning just as she noticed movement at the Carven landing ship. All units be ready, she called out. The aliens may try to leave. The door of the Carven ship opened. But instead of aliens trying to escape, something was pushed out. It looked like a large metal container. Hold fire, Hyun ordered. Scan that object. One of her officers used a handheld scanner. Commander, it's some kind of bomb. It's giving off radiation. Hyun didn't hesitate. Evacuation. Order. All units fall back to the secondary perimeter. Alert the city defense systems. As her troops pulled back, the Carven ship's engines fired up. It was trying to take off while leaving the bomb behind. Admiral Kang, this is Commander Cha, she said into her comm unit. One of the Carven ships is attempting to leave. They've deployed some kind of bomb. Understood, came the Admiral's voice. Defense satellites are locked on. They won't reach orbit. Hyun and her team reached the secondary perimeter just as the Carven ship rose from the ground. It had barely cleared the buildings when beams of light shot down from the sky. The Earth's orbital defense system cut through the ship's hull. It exploded in mid-air, raining down debris inside the quarantine zone. "The bomb is still active," her scanner officer reported. "Counting down." "How long?" Hyun asked. 45 seconds. Hyun made a quick decision. "Send in the containment drones. Have them drop isolation foam on the bomb." 3 small flying drones zoomed over their heads, heading for the bomb. Each carried tanks of special foam that could block radiation and contain explosions. The drones circled the bomb, spraying thick white foam until it was completely covered. 30 seconds later, there was a muffled boom. The foam bubble expanded but held together. "Bomb contained," the officer reported. Radiation levels holding steady inside the foam. Hyun let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. "Check all other landing sites. The Carven might try the same trick elsewhere." In orbit, High Commander Vex received the news of the failed escape attempt. "Which ship commander tried to leave?" he demanded. "Sub-Commander Lax," his officer replied. "His ship was destroyed by the humans' defense system." Vex slammed his claw down again. "He risked everything with that foolish action. Now the humans will trust us even less." A new message came in from Admiral Kang. The human's face showed controlled anger. "High Commander, your people just violated our agreement. They tried to escape while leaving behind a radiation bomb." "It was one ship commander acting alone," Vex said quickly. "I did not authorize this action." "Nevertheless," Admiral Kang said, "we will now board all Carven ships to ensure there are no more surprises. Our teams will arrive in 1 hour. They will search every ship for weapons and infected crew members." The Admiral's image disappeared before Vex could reply. "They're going to board us," Vex said quietly, "and we have no choice but to let them." His science officer stepped forward. "High Commander, I've been studying the reports from the surface. The humans may be right about one thing. The pathogen doesn't seem to kill all infected Carven. Some are changing." "Changing how?" Vex asked. "Their bodies and minds are being altered. It's too early to say what they will become." Vex looked out at the fleet of human warships surrounding his people. "We came to take their planet," he said. "Instead, they have trapped us, and now this pathogen may change us forever." Outside the viewport, more human ships moved into position, small boarding crafts prepared to launch. The humans were coming, and the Carven could only wait. Admiral Sun Woo Kang stood on the bridge of the EDS Retribution. The massive human warship formed the center of a perfect blockade formation. Hundreds of Earth ships surrounded the Carven fleet, making sure no alien vessel could escape. "Boarding. Teams report all secure on 17 Carven ship, Bowie," said Commander Da-hee-yoon, reading from her screen. "No more hidden bombs found so far." Sun Woo nodded. "And the infected aliens?" "All contained. Medical teams are taking samples and running tests." The Admiral walked to the main viewport. From here, he could see the Carven mothership. It was large, but not as advanced as the aliens had believed. Earth had been preparing for this day for decades. "Open a channel to High Commander Vex," Sun Woo ordered. The alien leader's face appeared on the main screen. Vex looked tired and defeated. "Admiral Kang, your boarding teams have found no more weapons," Vex said. "We are cooperating fully." "Good," Sun Woo replied. "Now we need to discuss the infected members of your species." Vex's face showed worry. "Have they all died?" "No," Sun Woo said. "That's what we need to talk about. Our research teams have made an important discovery." In the secure lab beneath Seoul, Director Yuna Cho showed her findings to Captain Taeyong Park. On a large screen, they watched videos of the infected Carven. "Look at the changes in this one," Yuna said, pointing to an alien that had been infected for 3 days. "The hard shell is becoming more flexible, the extra limbs are changing shape." Taeyong watched with interest. "And their behavior?" "The violent phase seems to last about 48 hours, Yuna explained. "Then they become calmer. Their brains are changing too." Dr. Jinwoo Baek joined them. carrying a tablet with more test results. The pathogen is rewriting their DNA, similar to what happened with humans over generations. But for the Carven, it's happening in days. What will they become? Taeyong asked. Yuna shook her head. We don't know yet. But they're surviving the infection. Not all of them, but many. Taeyong thought for a moment. We need to tell Admiral Kang, and the Carven leaders need to know their people aren't all doomed. High Commander Vex listened carefully as the human admiral explained the situation. The human medical director, Yuna Cho, had joined the call. Some of your people are adapting to the pathogen, Director Cho said. Their bodies and minds are changing, but they're surviving. Changing into what? Vex asked, his voice showing both hope and fear. We're still studying that, Yuna replied. But it seems the pathogen creates a bridge between our species. It remakes the Carven biology to be more compatible with human biology. Vex considered this information. You mean they are becoming more like humans? Not exactly, Yuna said. They're becoming something new. Neither fully Carven nor human. Admiral Kang spoke next. We need your help, High Commander. We need volunteers from your uninfected crew to work with our scientists. If we understand how the pathogen affects your people, we might be able to make the process safer. Vex was surprised. You want to help us? After we tried to invade your world? The pathogen changes everything it touches, Admiral Kang said simply, including how we see this situation. If your people can adapt, perhaps our species can find a way forward together. Commander Hyun Cha walked through the quarantine zone in Seoul. The area had been secured. No infected aliens had escaped. The radiation from the bomb had been fully contained by the special foam. Her second-in-command, Officer Jiwoo, joined her. Commander, we have news from the research center. Some of the infected Carven are entering a new phase. What kind of phase? Hyun asked. They're becoming calmer. More reasonable. Director Cho wants us to bring one of them to the main lab for closer study. Hyun frowned. Is that safe? They've prepared a special containment room, triple sealed, and the alien they want to study has been in the calm phase for over 24 hours. After thinking it over, Hyun agreed. Choose our best team. Full protection gear, no risks. 2 hours later, Hyun watched as her team brought the selected Carven to the main research facility. The alien looked different from the others of its kind. Its hard shell had become smoother. Its movements were less jerky, more fluid. Most surprising of all, it seemed to understand what was happening. It followed directions and did not try to attack the humans. Director Yuna Cho met them at the lab entrance. Thank you, Commander. This will help our research greatly. Just be careful, Hyun warned. We don't know if this calm behavior will last. In orbit, the human blockade remained firm. No Carven ship was allowed to leave, but the tension had decreased. Now, small shuttles moved between the ships, carrying scientists and medical teams. On the EDS Retribution, Admiral Sunwoo met with 5 Carven volunteers. They had agreed to be studied and possibly exposed to controlled amounts of the pathogen. What you're doing is brave, Sunwoo told them. It will help both our peoples understand what's happening. One of the Carven stepped forward. We came to your world as invaders. Now we must trust you to save us. Admiral Sunwoo nodded. Sometimes the greatest enemies can become the strongest allies. On Earth, the first group of transformed Carven were moved to a special living area. They were no longer violent, but they were not the same as before. Their bodies had changed. Their minds worked differently. Director Yuna Cho spent hours talking with them, learning how they felt and thought now. It's like waking from a dream, one transformed Carven told her. I remember being Carven, but I feel more now. I can understand things I couldn't before. Like what? Yuna asked. Human emotions. Before, they made no sense to me. Now I feel them too. Yuna made careful notes. And physically? How do you feel? Stronger in some ways, weaker in others. My shell is softer, but it heals quickly when damaged. This matched what had happened with humans. The Nexus pathogen gave rapid healing abilities. Yuna shared her findings with Admiral Kang and Captain Park. The transformed Carven are like a bridge between our species. They understand both sides in a way neither of us can alone. Could this be what the pathogen was meant to do all along? Captain Park wondered. Create beings that can connect different species? It's possible, Yuna said. The pathogen may have been created by some ancient species for exactly this purpose. High Commander Vex made a difficult decision. After seeing the research results, he volunteered to be infected with a controlled dose of the pathogen. My people need to see that. I am willing to face this change, he told Admiral Kang. If I transform and survive, others will be less afraid. The human admiral respected his courage. We'll use everything we've learned to make the process as safe as possible. For 3 days, Vex went through the painful transformation. His body changed. His mind opened to new thoughts and feelings. When he emerged from the process, he was neither fully Carven nor human. He was something new. Vex stood before a group of Carven leaders who had come to see him. I understand now, he told them. The humans weren't hiding behind a false quarantine. They were protecting the galaxy from something they didn't fully understand. He turned to look at Admiral Kang. And now, perhaps together, we can unlock its true purpose. The human ship still formed a blockade around the Carven fleet, but it was no longer just to keep them from escaping. Now it was also to protect them, while both species worked to understand their new shared future. 3 weeks had passed since the Carven invasion. In her lab beneath Seoul, Research Director Yuna Cho worked day and night. She studied the changes in the infected aliens with growing excitement. Dr. Jinwoo, look at these new test results, she called to her colleague. She pointed to a screen showing colorful patterns of DNA. The pathogen isn't just changing them randomly, it's following a pattern. Dr. Jinwoo Beck leaned closer to the screen. His eyes widened. This can't be right. Run the test again. I already ran it 7 times, Yuna said. The results are the same each time. The pathogen is rewriting their DNA in a very specific way. Jinwoo sat down, his face showing shock. If this is correct, then the Nexus pathogen isn't a disease. At all. It's a tool. Yuna nodded. A tool designed to bridge different species together. They looked through a large window into the room where the transformed Carven lived. Now in their 4th week of transformation, the aliens looked very different. Their hard shells had become flexible skin with armor plates. Their extra limbs had changed shape. Most importantly, their brains had been rewired. We need to tell Admiral Kang right away, Yuna said. This changes everything. On the EDS Retribution, Admiral Sun Wukong received Yuna's report with great interest. You're saying the pathogen was created on purpose, he asked. Yuna's face looked back at him from the screen. All the evidence points that way. It's too perfect, too precise to be natural. Someone made it long ago. For what purpose? To unite different species, Yuna explained. The pathogen changes aliens to be compatible with humans, not by making them human, but by creating a middle ground, a bridge. Sunwoo thought for a moment. That would explain why it gives humans healing powers, but causes such violent reactions in aliens at first. Exactly, Yuna said. It's already part of us. But when it meets a new species, it has to transform them through that difficult first stage. The Admiral made a decision. I want to meet with the transformed Carven, in person. High Commander, Vex, now 3 weeks into his own transformation, met Admiral Kang in a special meeting room on Earth. Vex's appearance had changed dramatically. His once rigid body now moved with a new grace. His mind worked differently too. You look well, High Commander, Sunwoo said as they sat across from each other. I feel different, Vex replied. His voice had a new quality to it. I understand. Things now that I couldn't before. Like what? Vex seemed to search for the right words. Human emotions. They were always strange to me. Now I feel them too. Fear, hope, joy, sadness, and I still have Carven memories and instincts. Sun Wu nodded. Director Cho believes the pathogen was created by some ancient species to bring different kinds of life together. That makes sense, Vex said. When I look at my people now, both, the transformed and the untransformed, I see them differently. Before I only cared about Carven survival. Now I understand how all life is connected. Commander Hyun Cha walked with Captain Taeyong Park through the transformed Carven living area. Neither wore protective suits now. The transformed aliens were no longer dangerous to humans. What will happen to them? Hyun asked. That's what these meetings are about, Taeyong replied. Some want to return to the Carven fleet to help others understand the transformation. Some want to stay on Earth as ambassadors. They stopped to watch a group of transformed Carven playing a human game with some scientists. The game involved strategy and teamwork. The aliens were laughing, a sound that would have been impossible for their old Carven bodies. I still find it hard to believe, Hyun said. A month ago, they came to invade us. Now they're playing games with us. Taeyong smiled. The pathogen changes everything it touches. Director Yuna Cho presented her findings to a special meeting of Earth's leadership and transformed Carven representatives. The room was filled with humans in formal clothes and transformed Carven in special garments designed for their new bodies. After analyzing the Nexus pathogen fully, we have made an incredible discovery, Yuna announced. She displayed a complex image on the main screen. The pathogen contains a coded message. The room fell silent. A message? Asked one of the human leaders. From whom? We believe it was created by an ancient species, one that existed millions of years before humans or Carven, Yuna explained. The code was hidden in the pathogen's DNA structure. One of the transformed Carven stood up. What does the message say? Yuna took a deep breath. It's complex, but the basic meaning is this: unite or perish. The galaxy holds dangers greater than your differences. The room erupted in excited talk. Humans and transformed Carven turned to each other, discussing what this could mean. Admiral Kang called for quiet. Director Cho, are you suggesting that this pathogen was created as a warning? A way to force different species to find common ground? That's what the evidence suggests, Yuna said. The creators of the pathogen wanted to ensure that intelligent life in our galaxy would unite, not fight each other. They saw some great danger that required cooperation. High Commander Vex, sitting beside Admiral Kang, felt a new kind of understanding fill his mind. We came to Earth as invaders, he said, his voice carrying through the quiet room. We ignored your warnings about the pathogen because we thought you were being selfish, keeping your world for yourselves. He stood up, looking around at both humans and transformed Carven. Now I understand. You were protecting us as much as yourselves. And perhaps this pathogen is protecting all of us from something worse, something its creators knew about long ago. Admiral Kang nodded. The question is, what were they afraid of? What danger could be so great that an ancient species would create something like the Nexus pathogen to force unity among different species? Whatever it is, Vex said, we will face it together. The transformed Carven are living proof that our differences can be bridged. Later that day, on the observation deck of the Earth Defense Headquarters, Admiral Kang stood with Captain Park and Commander Cha. They looked up at the night sky, where both human and Carven ships now patrolled together. The blockade has become a joint defense force, Taeyong observed. Yes, Sun Wu agreed. We're teaching them our defense systems and they're sharing their space travel technology. Hyun still looked concerned. Do you really believe there's some great danger out there? Something the creators of the pathogen were warning about? Admiral Kang turned to her. I don't know, but if there is, we're stronger facing it together than divided. He looked back up at the stars. The Carven ignored our warnings and found themselves trapped by our warships. But in doing so, they may have helped us discover a much older warning, one meant for all intelligent life. As they watched, a new kind of ship rose from the Earth's surface. It had been designed by both humans and transformed Carven working together. It joined the defense fleet, a symbol of their new alliance. Whatever comes next, Sunwoo said quietly. We'll be ready. 1 year had passed since the Carven invasion. In the Great Hall of the new Nexus Diplomatic Center in Seoul, representatives from 12 alien species gathered. The large room buzzed with voices speaking many different languages. Translators worked hard to help everyone understand each other. At the center of the meeting stood 3 important figures: Admiral Sunwoo Kang in his formal Earth Defense uniform, Research Director Yuna Cho in her white lab coat, and the transformed Carven, leader now called Ambassador Vex. Ambassador Vex looked very different from the Carven High Commander he had been a year ago. His once rigid body now had flexible skin with protective plates. He moved with a grace that combined Carven strength with human flexibility. His mind was also changed, able to understand both Carven and human ways of thinking. Welcome to the first Nexus Accord meeting, Admiral Kang said to the gathered aliens. 1 year ago, the Carven came to Earth as invaders. Today, they stand with us as partners. The alien representatives looked at each other. Some showed doubt, others curiosity. They had all come because Earth had sent a message that changed everything. The Nexus pathogen was not a disease to be feared, but a tool that could unite different species. Admiral Kang continued, Earth is no longer a quarantined world. Instead, it is now the center for controlled pathogen adaptation. Any species wishing to form deep bonds with humanity must go through the Nexus process, a carefully managed exposure to the pathogen. Ambassador Vex stepped forward. His new voice, deeper and more expressive than before, filled the room. My people came to Earth as invaders. We ignored warnings that could have saved many lives. We paid a terrible price for our pride. He gestured to the other transformed Carven in the room. Those of us who survived are neither fully what we were, nor what humans are. We are something new, a bridge between species. Director Yuna Cho touched a control panel, and a large screen showed complex DNA patterns. The Nexus pathogen appears to have been sleeping in human DNA for thousands of years, she explained to the visitors. We believe it was put there by an ancient, advanced species, not as a weapon, but as a tool to eventually unite the galaxy. A painful tool, Captain Taeyong Park said from his seat. One that requires sacrifice. Yes, Ambassador Vex agreed, but one that creates true understanding. Before my transformation, I could not understand human emotion or thinking. Now I carry both Carven and human perspectives within me. True friendship between species becomes possible when we can truly feel what others feel. In orbit around Earth, the Earth Defense Fleet had a new purpose. Instead of forming a blockade to keep aliens away, the ships now protected the carefully controlled pathways to and from Earth. Special medical ships carried volunteers from other species who wanted to try the Nexus process. On the bridge of the Yao EDS Retribution, Commander Dae-Hyun showed a group of alien visitors the fleet operations. We still maintain the ability to enforce isolation, she explained. Our warships continue to patrol every route from Earth, but now they protect the controlled spread of the Nexus process. One of the alien visitors, a tall being with 4 eyes, asked, What happens if another species tries to invade Earth, as the Carven did? Commander Dahi smiled. They would face the same response. Our warnings would be ignored at their own risk. In the Special Medical Center near Seoul, Dr. Jinwoo Baek worked with the first volunteers from 3 new alien species. The Nexus process had been improved over the past year. Now the violent phase was shorter and less dangerous. The changes will begin soon, he told the volunteers. The first 2 days will be difficult, but we have medicine to help with the pain. After that, your bodies and minds will start to transform. One of the aliens, a small blue-skinned being, looked nervous. Will we still be ourselves after the change? Dr. Jinwoo nodded. Yes, you will keep your memories and core personality, but you will gain new perspectives and abilities. You will become a bridge between your species and humans. At the back of the diplomatic hall, General Hyun Cha watched the proceedings with careful attention. She had been promoted after her successful handling of the Carven landing in Seoul. Now she was in charge of all Earth's defense forces. Do you think this peace will last? Asked Minji Li, who had moved from the vigilance to work in the diplomatic corps. Nothing lasts forever, Yun replied. But this peace is built on truth, not lies. The Carven ignored our warnings, and we showed them our strength. Now they respect both our words and our resolve. She looked up at the large screen showing Earth's defense fleet in formation around the solar system. The ships were a constant reminder to all visitors that Earth's warnings should never be ignored. Sometimes, she added, peace is only possible when everyone understands exactly what war would cost them. In a special laboratory deep beneath the Nexus Center, Director Yuna Cho and Ambassador Vex studied the newest discovery. A second message, hidden even deeper in the pathogen's code. We've only translated part of it, Yuna said, pointing to the complex patterns. But it seems to be coordinates. Coordinates to what? Vex asked. We don't know yet, but the message includes warnings about something called the Void Seekers. We think they might be the danger that the pathogen creators were afraid of. Vex looked thoughtful. The first ships with mixed human and Carven crews will be ready next month. Perhaps we should send them to investigate these coordinates. Yuna nodded. Together, we'll be stronger than either of our species would be alone. As the Nexus Accord meeting came to an end, the 12 alien representatives signed the historic agreement. Earth would share the Nexus process with those who sought peaceful cooperation. In return, each species would contribute their unique knowledge and technology to the growing alliance. Admiral Kang and Ambassador Vex stood side by side as the signatures were completed. 1 year ago, we were enemies, Vex said quietly. And now? Sun Wu asked. Vex's transformed face showed a smile, an expression impossible for old Carven bodies. Now we face the galaxy together. Whatever these void seekers may be, they will find not divided species but a united front. Admiral, Kang nodded. The blockade that trapped your ships has become a shield that protects us all. Outside the Nexus Center, a new ship rose into the sky. Its design combined human and Carven technology. On its side, a new symbol showed a bridge between stars. The ship joined the defense fleet, the first of many that would carry the allied species to the stars. Whatever waited out there in the darkness between worlds, humanity and its new allies would meet it together. The end.